Wait on Sandy.
It says I'm live.
Let's open the meeting of the Board of County Council. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All the members are present, so start with the minutes of our last meeting on October 28th. Which were sent out to us. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
A motion to approve the minutes. May I have a second?
I'll be happy to second that.
Meredith is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
When you sign these, there's two sections. The minutes, and then the thing you already signed, the ordinance. We just want it signed in the book.
Okay.
So you've already approved them. It's just a matter of signing.
Sounds good.
Doug, you got the line on the bottom again, remember?
Yeah. Keep me on my toes.
Okay, we'll start out here again with this courthouse security, Tammy. Introduce yourself and
Tammy Humphrey, DuBois County Emergency Management, and I'm here on behalf of the Security Committee to request funding to put some metal detectors in the courthouse and annex, and then get some handheld scanners and a bag scanner as well. This is the latest update with the prices. The commissioners approved everything that you're looking at. They denied some other things to possibly maybe look at in 25, I don't know. But this is all that was approved by the county commissioners. So I'm here to request the amount of $34,622.07 for the equipment that you see on that list. The $2,200 from Wire, that is the electrical that we have to have in order to work this equipment that we're requesting.
so there was some discussion about the, whose inventory this is gonna go under, who's gonna be responsible for it. Is
I
that been
believe that it
figured
should
out?
fall under the sheriff's, because the security officers report to the sheriff's office. If there's something that's gonna be wrong with a piece of equipment, that's who they're gonna contact, is the sheriff. That's who their person is. So that's where, in my personal opinion, would be the best place. The only other place I could think would be under commissioner's inventory.
How would that be changed, or how would that get approved? I guess, would the commissioners approve that then? That would go under their inventory?
I think that would, Sandy, you'd have to answer that question.
I would think we'd have it under the sheriff or the security office itself.
Yeah, so I think that no matter what, it's ultimately, if there's something that comes up with the equipment, they're gonna report to the sheriff's office, they're gonna report to the sheriff.
Right.
And so I feel like the sheriff's department actually should hold the inventory on it.
That makes sense to me. I know there was some other discussion.
Yeah,
that
and I
they would handle it, and
After having some conversations with the security officers, the sheriff, it just makes more sense to just put it in the sheriff's department. That way you don't have that third wheel in there, and that would be me. And so that way I don't have to be the third wheel. That's how I look at it.
sounds good.
So this is updated pricing from what we had at the.
Absolutely, yeah, this is all updated as of the end of last week, so this is the most current pricing, and you'll see some of the pricing. Wires went up $100, it could still go down $100, it just depends on when they do the work. It could be a possibility that the clerk and the auditor may not want it done during the week, and then they'll have to come in on a Saturday, so they've got an upcharge of $100 to do that. So if it can be done during the week, it would be $100 less than what's on here.
So then, I had 42,000 originally, and you're down to 34, so what's went down?
We took out Astro completely.
Yeah,
Did you
completely.
take out Astro?
Yeah, I just had this top portion.
Didn't you give other bids?
We just went and got updated quotes, Sandy, so whatever changed, it could be just that the equipment went down. Some of the equipment did go down in
The
prices.
security desk definitely went down.
Where's the scanner at?
It is,
Here,
on
never
a
mind.
clear scanner for
That's the-
$26,350.
That's the difference, because
Well,
it's
but
30.
that was the Smith's detection. We are not going with that company. We're going with the
Okay.
better price at Zorro.
Yeah, the auto.
So,
Is the X-ray scanner just for the bags
yeah,
and then the metal detector, you would walk through
right.
and then you put your bags through?
Yeah, and then we're also getting 2 handhelds just for the what if, there may be something that somebody's already upstairs, or you never know what you might need those for, so.
That's pretty minor.
Yeah, I agree. There's really not a big price on that either. This is equipment that we've needed for many, many years. I tried to get a grant. The grant was denied by the state of Indiana. So with that being said, I'm just really passionate about getting this done. It should have been done a long time ago.
So if they give me the consensus to advertise for this money, do you think it'll fluctuate by the time we get the money
Now,
next month?
because Marissa's talked to all the vendors.
Or is,
It
There
shows
should-
it
there should be-
expire
I mean,
have to put expiration dates on the side.
end of the year.
yeah, everything's
I tried
in
to get them
December.
already.
okay,
the
because
year
this was,
possible.
I see, this was December, and okay.
So I think we should be okay with the pricing on all of it.
Because, I mean,
If it's gonna change, it's not gonna change large dollar amounts, and we would just let you know that. I mean, once we can place the order, it's locked in,
Yeah.
so.
well, we would advertise for the next meeting for December 16th.
So
Well,
the
that's
other
after some of
question is,
these have expired.
Yeah, a couple of them would expire, but
A
if we
couple,
commit
it's
to them.
it's the desk that, I mean, it's some of the very,
They said they could only quote out for 30 days,
It's just
so
all they're
I
allowed.
can probably on the 16th, I can reach back out and say, hey, can we lock this back in until at least
Once
the
it's
16th?
Been approved.
Exactly, we just
Yeah.
needed it approved.
yeah, and once they know that we've approved it, they're gonna say our quote's good through, right now, they're working in limbo. They don't know if we're gonna get the money or not.
Well, the big ticket item is good until January,
Right.
right? So
other questions?
what fund would we come with?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just,
I was thinking edit funds is about what I was thinking, we'd add funds. Let's get the questions answered first, if anybody's got anything else.
I think it's all pretty clear, yeah, nice job.
We'll give that credit to Narissa for, credit is due. I have a great deputy director, so she's really worked hard on helping keep this up to date.
So then I think we could, if have a show of hands to take this, and I didn't know if we should round this up.
I would definitely round up.
35,000, at least, then we'd have a little contingency if something would change. And
Covers that $100.
advertise it out of edit funds, so.
Actually, Ryan, I included the 100 in the 2,200, so it would possibly go down 100.
So let's see it. Let's have a show of hands that would approve $35,000 for this security equipment.
Thank you.
So looks like it's unanimous, so I appreciate the work you've done on it.
And I know that the courthouse employees are going to be thrilled to death that this is happening, because it's been a request for quite some time, so.
Until they can't get through the scanners.
Well, that I'm sure will happen. But, that'll go with the pros and cons of it, in my opinion, so. But anyway, it's greatly appreciated, the support behind it. There are some additional items that we are really, really wanting to get to help with security, but they've been tabled until sometime in 25, so we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, anything else? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
No, I think everybody is looking forward to this.
You don't think so? You don't need anything else? Thank you.
We'll advertise for this meeting.
Okay, Wyatt, then we're your next appropriation transfer. What you want to speak about, I think, tonight.
Good evening, Wyatt Madden, Director of DuBois County Community Corrections, here today for a corporation transfer of the misdemeanor fund. It's for salary benefits, FICA for the administrative assistant position. Jody left on the 8th. had PTO and comp payouts, so just replacing that out of the misdemeanor fund to get us through the end of the year.
I have $5,271.31 coming from Jail Academy training in the misdemeanor fund and going to, there's 4 different things. The admin assistant, $1,484. Comp time payout, $2,067. PTO payout, $885.10. And the benefits that match all that is $835.21, equaling $5,271.31. And I apologize for not sending that out to you.
I'll open the floor to questions for Wyatt.
Is that always the fund that gets paid out if somebody leaves and you have to pay that out? Is it just, you had to get her paid out, so you had to
No,
choose something?
traditionally, it was a part-time position.
Mhm.
So I asked the sheriff, for 2025, coming into a new building, if we could use that fund to completely budget her position for 2025 or 2024. He agreed. So that's what we did for this year. Next year, it's going to be paid out of three separate funds. But it was kind of just a one-year thing. Usually we get about $15,000 a year. We split it with the sheriff's department.
Sounds good. Need a motion to,
Any other questions first? Okay, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion for the transfer of the $5,271.31.
I'll second that.
Have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Good.
I think you're gonna discuss the officers then.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were gonna do that tonight or not. So I had a meeting with the commissioner this morning, requesting 2 additional staff members, night shift officers. Some reasonings behind it. Looked at our calendars the past 2 years, 23 and 24. In 2023, 25% of our night shifts were covered by somebody other than a night shift officer. And in 2024, it rose to 33%. So a third of our shifts are covered by somebody who's not a night shift officer. It's pretty tough on mid shifters and day shifters covering night shifts when they're hiring to cover up 6A to 6P. Turnover, unfortunately, it's always something that's going to happen in the corrections field. If you have a night shift officer who's going to be hired in, you can't stick them with one other officer and expect them to get trained and run the floor or run the control room because they've never done it before. So having 3 on each shift will ensure proper coverage 24/7. Somebody has to offer PTO, you still have 2 officers there to run the shift. Something we've always done. Something that's always been done since I think it was first built. It allows for training. State requires 40 hours of professional development for all community corrections employees. It's kind of tough to do for night shifts. This would allow that. And then for PTO coverage, like I said, somebody calls off or schedules time off for family or sick, it's not going to be an issue anymore.
And Alex, you're a member of that board. You have any comments, or you had ran this 5-year community?
Advisory board meeting last week, yeah.
No, I mean, everybody's toured the place and, you understand how it's laid out and the complexities of the control room, so I can echo what Wyatt said. They work them pretty tough and if people get burnt out. We don't want them getting burnt out, these guys covering shifts that aren't their normal shifts, so I think if it's economically feasible for the county, it's definitely justified.
And, we're not going to move on this tonight, but I think I had asked Wyatt, or we had talked about coming in and at least explaining it to it and give the opportunity then for any member to go up and talk and maybe look at the facility. I think I have done it and I've had it explained to me. I looked into the the CNR funds, and that's something I think that we would possibly if we would agree to go ahead, that's the funds I think we would use moving forward with. So this would be something we address again in the 1st of January, or
Yes.
in the January meeting, since we can't make any kind of deep decision on it tonight, so.
You can't appropriate in December for January unless it's at budget time, which is passed. So we couldn't appropriate tonight and say, oh, you're gonna do this in January. You have to do it in that budget year,
Oh, okay. Okay, so
because it's an additional to the budget
right,
for
we're not
2020.
here.
So I think any member, feel free to reach out to Wyatt and explain further if you would need further explanation. Otherwise, I appreciate you coming in and addressing it tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll address that in January, and depending on when your meeting is, we'll advertise for that meeting.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Hey, Brent, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, sent you guys an email on Friday, hopefully everybody got it. I have your email, right? Did you get it? You were the one I was curious, I don't know if I said the right one or not. I sent you a county one, it was listed, I don't know if you got it.
She does have a county one now.
Yeah, so it was on, it popped up, I was like, I think this will work, but we'll find out. So what it is, Highway Safety Improvement Plan, it's a federal aid program. And we decided to try to upgrade, right away, guardrail along our bridges. Well, obviously I can't, 166 bridges, I can't get them all at one time. I'll have some copies of everybody. But 166 bridges, can't do them all at one time, but we're gonna try to knock out 60 of them. And this will be at a cost of 4.4 million, just roughly, if we do all this, with being a 90-10 split, which means 90% federal, 10% local. It would be responsible, you got one for $440,000. What I'm asking for is a financial, signatures for a financial commitment saying we will pay for this. We will have the funds and we can do this within our means. I put in the letter out of Lit and Hume Bridge, hoping that maybe we could do both. We do one, Hume Bridge could absorb it, but if, that didn't really do one that would do a little bit, that'd be great. But there's a breakdown of what it is. The construction fees, we would simply write a check for what the bid amount is when the contractor bids it, write a check to NDOT, and they would take care of everything. The preliminary engineering and the construction engineering, we would have to appropriate all of it, but we would only pay for 10%. We would ask NDOT to reimburse us, similar to do for bridge inspection. So that's how the breakouts work. So what I'm requesting is your guys' support of the project and then a signature from Mike saying we will financially pay for it. We've done the means to do it. If we're afforded.
When, I won't be here, but in 27, 28, and all that, those budgets, you'll put these in those budgets.
Correct.
So you're saying like $1.2 million roughly for preliminary engineering, we would have to pay that?
We would have to budget it all front, yes. And we would, in theory, yes, we'd have to have it all front and then the state would reimburse us. It's the same thing we do for bridge inspection.
So we'd have to make sure that's in the budget each year, so.
Right.
Okay.
And then they reclaim it and we get the money back.
Correct. And it just goes back into whatever fund we pull out.
That's how a lot of federal,
The construction's the only.
These are big dollars.
Yeah, huge dollars. I know, but 90-10 split is where it's at. We'll get that money back. So.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm just curious, when you say splitting it with the bridge, where would you be thinking, like a 50-50 with the bridge fund and a?
It'd be great. That would be ideal. I could absorb a little more or less, things like that. I think the bridge could do it all, but I don't want to pull completely. Yeah. I think the bridge could absorb it all, but try not to. Not that we couldn't afford the 440, we could definitely do that. It's just the big numbers up front and getting them back is where I'm at. The 440 is no big deal. That was what it was. That'd be simple, but it's the pulling it all out at one time.
It's a good deal.
It's a great deal. And all of our bridges, what we're gonna do is 60 bridges, we're gonna upgrade the railing and the end treatments. Because right now, you get the orange flared end sections. Those are not traffic standards. They work back in the 70s and 80s when we did this, that was the best we had. Well, now we get wrote up for it every year. Not that we're being fined or anything bad happened, but it's being documented. God forbid somebody hits that and passes away, and that we could be liable for that. So if we can try to knock these things out and work toward getting them out of there, we'll be in much better shape.
And what's the timeline on the project?
Construction would be 28, so I mean, you're looking a long way down the road. With federal aid, nothing's fast. Just an FYI, nothing's fast, but it'll move along.
So these costs will hold throughout the whole
Yes.
project?
The raising, yeah, that's all encompassed in there, so that's already factored in.
Great.
Further discussion or? Can you note the,
I just need one
the
signature.
commissioners did sign a letter similar to this. And, so if it's all for, I guess the motion to approve this letter for sure.
This would be a motion here.
Yeah, I would make a motion to approve the letter and show the council support.
Meredith has seconded, so any further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Okay, the next thing, it's not on the agenda, but I have your attention, I'm gonna use it real quick because I was last on the list. Bridge 78, which is Lady Bridge over on 600 and Division. It's over at the Toka, it's one of our big Toka River bridges. That's in some major need of rehab. There's a lot of things that gotta get done to it. I need to get a consultant on board to make the design, to do the bidding process, and to oversee the construction for me. They have, for the design service alone, they have given me an estimate of $93,000 to do the work. So I'm going to ask your guys' consensus that we appropriate that money at King Bridge, hopefully for December, if it's not too late, Sandy.
Nope.
So at the December meeting, appropriate that money. Then I can proceed with
Has the
that.
commissioners given the approval of that?
They give approval to appropriate the money, yes.
That's the 93,000, right?
The consultant, we're working on that, we're trying to figure out who we're gonna get. That's not set in stone yet.
This is the design fee, right?
It's the design fee, it's really roughly a $600,000 project, it's gonna be a monster, but that bridge is a $3 million bridge if I were to replace it, so it's better to get that money up front and get this done.
It's Bridge 73,
78.
78.
Okay, further questions or discussion for Brad? Otherwise, I have a show of hands that, that make that appropriation of the bridge fund
I appreciate that, like I said, it's,
unanimous.
so as long as you guys are on board, I want to make sure before I brought that up to you guys.
Okay, thank you. Sounds
Do
good.
you guys have anything else for me?
I think so. I don't.
When you do the bridge upgrades, are you gonna do that bridge in Johannesburg, that little concrete buttress on the side? Is that on
I don't know which bridge that is. To tell you the truth, I don't know. I got, like I said, 60 of them, so I'm losing track of which ones I am right now. The bridges that I'm doing are the ones that I have documented right away on. If they don't have documented right away, I can cut them right now because to get the most bang for my buck, if I have to add right away fees, environmental fees, it's still living through the roof. So right now I'm doing the bridges that I don't have to do any of that stuff. So. John's working on all, but I don't know.
It's old school, that's what I asked.
Yeah. Okay,
Appreciate the.
Thanks, guys.
on this. Thank you. I guess we'll, looks like we'll move on then to the additional appropriation.
Okay, I have, the sheriff was here talking about needing $100,000, 60,000 for utilities, 40,000 for inmate medical. So we put it together.
Discussed this last meeting. So any questions or concerns about that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that additional appropriation.
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's not all talk.
Look at our,
Yeah,
I'll
Ryan-
second that.
Ryan made a motion and Meredith is seconded, so further discussion. Otherwise, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
From Cume Cap, the sheriff was in talking about needing $14,000 to outfit the rest of the sheriff cars. He talked about it last meeting.
Yes. Any just other discussion on that or further discussion on that?
Make a motion to approve that.
Ryan has made a motion to approve. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Meredith is second. So further discussion. Otherwise, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Okay, that's all the additionals. And then I have an amendment to the salary ordinance for the part-time records librarian. The commissioners had it budgeted and it was not used this year, but I think we talked about scanning those extra books over there, all the minute books. And Stephen will do it for $15 per hour. It should take him a month to a month and a half, so it should end it out at the end of this year and be finished. So $15 per hour instead of the 13, it was 13.12 max before.
Questions on that? Concerns about that?
Currently, he makes 16 something, so he's coming down.
Yeah, I think he's kind of donating some of his time. Okay, so hearing no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve that salary ordinance.
So move.
Dina has made a motion, you have a second?
I'll second.
Don has a second. Further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
We did get our 1782 notice for our budget. I kind of reviewed it all. We did not have to make any cuts. Everything was from the state. Looks like it's going to be approved as we've submitted it. We just have to turn this in, saying we agree that we don't want any changes. So the tax rate that they're proposing went up 0.0011 from last year for the county's rate. The county's rate last year was 0.3091, and this year would be 0.3102.
We have to act on that in any?
No, I just need your signature.
Is everyone?
If anybody wants to see it.
See if everyone's sort of here a little bit.
1782 has to be turned back in. If we don't turn it in, they leave it as is. And then they'll get the budget order out after that.
Okay.
Mike, I'm gonna let you talk about the temperature control because I don't.
I think county attorney sent this out today, but we've been doing some work on this between the Commissioner President Lessinger and myself and Scott Holfen. We got a couple of control contract people in, take a look at this. What it is it's the old, on the thermostat system, it's all pneumatic and a lot of them stick. It's just a 60-plus-year-old system that now these control companies, they can, there's all these air handlers above the ceiling, and they can control the air shut it off and do different things versus what the system we got now, where some people might be freezing in part of the room or
More evenly distributed.
right. So, what we want to do is, I just kind of sent you the idea what this could cost. And I just wanted to make sure that the council's on board with this kind of expenditure before we put it out on bids, because I don't want to waste the contractors' times either. If we're not going to move forward with it, I think it's a worthwhile project, and it would be probably more energy efficient in the long run. So I don't know if anyone had a chance to read it. It's kind of, with this proposal request is quite a list of drawings from the original, building when they renovated it in 10 years back. So that'll be part of the package, and then we try to get it out next and try to get some bids on it.
And if they come in crazy, we still won't.
We still wouldn't have to
Correct.
do anything, but I'm just saying, we kind of estimated it could cost that amount of money, and that's why have to send it out for bids. So,
I don't think it hurts anything to do it. I feel like a 6-year-old system could probably use a little updating, and I didn't think it was that 60-year-old system. I didn't think it was that bad. That stuff's expensive.
we're not gonna change out the air handler itself, it's just the controls.
Just a control unit, and then they put the controls, they gotta install
They gotta
Dashboards,
change out, no, I don't think it's that, it's probably just a valve that would send a signal to that unit to kick on or off. So it's really, it's not, we wouldn't really tear up the system,
you're not going up and doing any duct work.
No, right.
It's just sensors, right?
Right. And new thermostats, that kind of thing.
Right now, I couldn't even tell you what our temperature's set on over there.
I would agree.
We have no idea.
Like it's freezing or what?
It's either you turn it on high or you turn it on low or you,
And her office is much longer than ours, but it's the same thing in both offices. Freezing in one spot and sweating in another.
and if the sun comes out in the afternoon
Oh my
for
gosh.
us, the west side, we heat up.
Yeah, it's
This
terrible.
where this would control that. This would kick these two units on, above the ceiling, where these were not.
Yeah.
You know,
It's either right now, you're either all in or you're out.
And it's,
Which creates other issues. I think about efficiency when you mentioned that, like the heaters that are underneath the desks or fans that are going on, like there's all kinds of other things that contribute to that,
I
so.
think those heaters under the desk are always going to be there, no matter what.
I have some with fans and some with heaters.
I have some of both.
Yeah.
So, depending on the day. Or what part of
But it's very, like in my office, it's so big.
one controller for
The
that
windows
entire-
can leak air and they're cold and I'm in the other, it's just, you don't know where.
It's worth getting to
I
this.
feel like if anything's been 60 years old, that's well beyond the reasonable and useful lifetime of any.
and
Look at
it's
it, right?
just a
So-
complete difference.
That's great,
Well, I'm sure they tried to update something when they remodeled, but
I think that,
we're lucky to get that kind of.
it is very,
so.
you never know how to dress.
Any comments on it or any other questions on it? I think tonight you just want to just like make sure I ask who would approve it, moving forward with it, I think is unlikely.
I would think send it to bid,
Yeah.
take it out.
We'll send it to bid, see what comes back, and then we'll advertise from there and go.
Sure. From there.
And I'm sure this will all be in.
Anybody else
Spring.
think different than that? Well, let's do that. I just wanted to bring it up tonight before we move forward with it. So this needs, okay, so the next thing here,
I have been putting in the minutes that we're gonna meet on December 30th at 9 a.m. And I think we talked about 9:30.
It's
So
9:30.
I wanted to clarify with that and clarify that because the minutes I've been putting 9 o'clock and nobody's caught it, so.
I have
So-
9:30.
December 30th will definitely be 9:30.
Glad you said that, I put it in as PM by mistake, so I made that change now, thank you. Like,
Somewhere down
But I
the
missed
line,
that.
9 o'clock, that's how I have it in mind.
Yeah, okay.
I had mine at 9:30, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
And I think that was just, and I looked back to all the minutes and I put 9 o'clock ever since, so
That's probably where I picked it up.
exactly. So it is, I will put in the minutes that we clarified it to be 9:30 and then I'll fix that. I'm not gonna go back to all the minutes and fix them.
So, the next thing you're talking about meeting dates and times, on 2025, I mean, I picked out some dates, you're gonna, I think we could just take each month and somebody says, I can't make it, then we can change it. So
Let's try
in January, I have the 27th, January 27th. That's kind of what we did this past year, late in the year, it was late in the month.
Works
Okay,
for me,
Which gives us plenty of time to advertise.
Right.
That does help.
that's great.
okay, then, anybody got an objection?
Oh.
Just holler if you do.
Actually, I just. I'm not entry on the day. I just realized, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we wanna, so,
Well, January 20th is Martin Luther King Day.
Could you just move it to the 28th?
We leave on Monday, that's the problem.
Oh, you're leaving.
Yeah, shoot, I'm sorry.
well, we can't do it the following Monday, because that's a holiday, isn't it?
The one before is a holiday.
Yeah, so I would hate to change them, I mean, we can change them to a Tuesday, but I think,
Leave them on Monday.
I mean, I'd like to keep it on Monday, but that's okay. We can change it to the 28th, or the 21st, but that kind of puts time,
You can't do the 13th, right? I mean, that's.
it's too early.
Too early. Shoot, I'm sorry.
Would a Wednesday night be better?
I'm okay with Tuesday the 21st. Unless there's a particular reason why we,
Are you gonna be out that week or that day, or?
It's, we leave on Saturday the 25th and then come back that February 1st Saturday.
So it'd have to be the 21st, is, I mean, the 21st, would that be agreeable with everyone, or change it to a Tuesday?
I just love 2 meetings in one day. Commissioners will meet that day too. That's fine.
Okay. So, okay, and then February 24th. In February 24th. Does that work for anyone, everyone? Okay, I'll move on then to March 31st.
31st. Okay,
That works with everyone. So April 28th. Okay. Then May 19th. And that's because Memorial Day is kind of the last. Okay.
that works.
June 23rd. July 28th. Okay. And I was thinking of stopping there.
That's
I
great.
think that's a good idea.
We set
The whole
up
budget
all
stuff.
the 7 months.
Good dates, Mike. You did good. It worked.
need to use that.
And then we can, we can discuss the budget hearing and all that stuff when it gets later in June and July. When we want to meet, update it for the rest of the year. Okay.
Your January 21st meeting will be your reorganization.
Okay. And then, just Ryan, I don't know if you wanted to give it any kind of tip about the grant for the.
Oh, the Angel Memorial?
Maybe do that.
Yeah, so it's done. Everything's done. We got a bench order that will come in on February 28th. And we're gonna do some type of little presentation if anybody wants to come. I was gonna send an email if anyone's around. We'll hand the check to their organization, and if we all wanna be there in support with them, or if anybody can make it, I'll shoot an email out. If anybody wants to come and. When?
Yeah, when was that?
Oh, I gotta get the people from the state that gave the money then the association down in Evansville. So I'm gonna kind of coordinate with them, and then if, I'll send it out to you guys if anybody can come. It'd be great.
So is this just like a presentation?
Presentation, picture, and a little,
Nice.
maybe a little acknowledgement for it all, and the project looks good, and everything went well, minus the leaves. Big check, yeah, they'll present a big check, and they will give it to them, so I think it would be good if anyone could make it. I will update you in a date, in an email. I just found out today that the bench was gonna take 4 months to get here, so my original plan was wait till we get the bench. It's coming. So,
Okay, well, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you for all the work you've done.
Got her done.
So I guess they're happy with it?
So moving on, I guess I'll see if the council's got anything they want to add. Anyone on the council want to add anything? Tina? Ronnie?
I'm good.
Tanya? Alex? Doug? Okay, otherwise,
I have nothing more to add except, like I said.
Daryl, did you have anything to add?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Doug has made a motion, I have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Ryan has seconds, all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting is closed.
Thank you all for that flexibility for January, I appreciate that.
All good, man. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Mexico?